That was 60 yards away. I was aiming for the boar. He did drop. I thought he would drop enough into the shot, but we'll just have to go check it out and see what happened. What's up, guys? I just finished a nice little morning hunt on this property. Wasn't too bad. I saw a spike, a young buck, and a couple of doe. It's always a good thing to see deer. However, that younger 8-point, he wasn't really doing too much rut activity. He was just kind of cruising through. He could care less about the doe right now, which tells me we're still pretty early in the season. Even though we're in the month of November, some years they're already full-blown rut by now. Personally, I think we're still early. I don't think the rut's going to be here for another week. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll be watching cameras. I'll probably see you guys next week. We'll get back into the woods. What's up, guys? I'm about to head out into the woods for an afternoon set with a rifle. And so when I'm rifle hunting, most of the time I like to be on the ground. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Get into this little natural ground blind, be on the ground where I can see what's coming in, and hopefully get a nice shot with this rifle. I might switch back to a bow, or I might stay with this rifle. It's just dependent on how I'm feeling. Luckily on this property I can use a rifle. Some of my other sets I have to use a bow. And so we're gonna get out there and see what shows up. Here we go. That's a shooter buck we call mule buck. He's a little over 100 yards away with these trees, and that distance, there's no way I'm taking this shot. Good news is he's chasing a doe that's headed in the direction my dad is hunting. This is about to get real interesting. Let's see what happens right here.
Delicious. He was almost too close. I'm not gonna lie, he came to that tree right there and then he come around. He was so close, I'm just like, I can't shoot. All I could see was hair. I had to back up my scope. I'm just like,
that is a cool buck. This is a buck we call mule buck. I named him that because he's got split G2s like a mule deer would have. Very unique for a whitetail in this area to have split G2s like that. He reminded me of a mule deer first time I saw him on camera. My dad got him down. I'm thankful he made a good shot. I would have had to give him a hard time if he would have missed this guy. We're going to get them loaded up in the side-by-side, and then I will see you guys on the next time I am in the woods. We'll get after another one. What's up, guys? I'm sure this wind is probably killing the audio. I didn't really plan on filming this, but I was checking this wheat field this morning to see if there's any bucks out here. Unfortunately, no deer are out in the wheat field this morning, but a big buck just hit my camera at the back of this property, kind of in that area. I have a feeder near the Nolan River, monster buck. I've never seen this buck before. He's got me pretty amped up, so I'm gonna jump into these little patch of woods, work this fence line as far as I can. I gotta open up a gate right there. Once I get into that gate, I can get into the larger patch of woods. I have about 200 yards from when I first get into the hardwoods to the feeder. So I'm gonna do my best to get as close as I can to the feeder at the back of the property and get a shot at this buck. It's now or never. I'll probably never see this buck again, so we're gonna throw a Hail Mary at him and see what happens. Here we go. What's up, guys? Let me get you caught up in the story. So I navigated down that fence line, stayed in the shadows. There's just a small group of trees there that I was able to use for cover. Made my way up to the gate, had to quietly and slowly unlock the gate, sneak into the back part of the property, into the hardwoods, and I had about 200 yards of hardwoods to navigate to get to the feeder. If I could at least get halfway between me and that buck, 100 yards away through these woods, I knew I could possibly get a shot. And so that was the game plan. I had to work through briars, deadfall, dead leaves. It's not even ground. You know, you have to work your way through this mess while trying to be stealthy, be quiet, and not make any sudden movements, but also moving as fast as you can, because you know these bucks, they don't hang out too long. They're there for maybe 5-10 minutes and they move on. So working my way through, I get 100 yards away from the feeder. I decide to glass, lift my binoculars, and about that time, out of this little drainage, a little creek near the feeder, a big body buck comes walking out, and he's not happy. He starts to breathe heavy. You could visually see his breath. You could see his hairs bristled up. He knows something's off. I don't believe he smelled me, but he can sense that something's there. He can sense that it's not something that's supposed to be there. And so I'm just watching this buck. I take a look at his antlers, not wanting to study him too much because I don't want to get buck fever, but I do see that he is legal. His antlers are outside the ears, meaning he has the right width. I'm excited about that. Look again at his body. It's a big body. His hair's bristled up again. And I'm just waiting for an opportunity because he's directly facing me. I don't want to take a frontal on this buck. I don't want to risk it. I'm already taking too many risks as it is. And so I wait about 5 minutes. He eventually turns broadside. I see the vitals in my scope. I squeeze the trigger and I hit a tree. I could visually see the mark on the tree where I hit it. Somehow it wasn't in my scope, but it was in my line of fire. So I hit a tree. The buck didn't really freak out. It didn't take off, but it did start slowly moving away from me. I knew there was no way I was going to parallel this buck in the woods, but I knew there was a road behind me that would help me navigate faster. I could maybe cut this buck off. And so that's what I decided to do. I backed out a little bit, got on that road, jogged about 20 feet, looked with my binoculars. He's still moving the same direction. Jog another 20 feet. Look again with the binoculars. He's moving in the same direction. I get to a clearing, and I'm just waiting for him to continue to walk in the path he's headed. I lift my rifle. He steps out. Nice buck. Put it on his vitals. Squeeze the trigger, and I drop him. I hustle over to see if I need to get a second shot on this buck, and that's when I notice it's not the monster. It's a nice 8-point buck for this area, but it's not that monster buck that I had on camera 5 minutes ago. It's a different buck. He's legal, he's a good buck, but I instantly think, man, where did that big one go? This is a nice buck. I'm thankful to get this buck down, but how did that monster get out of here without me seeing him? And that's just how it goes with these mature bucks, man. You hear it all the time. They get big for a reason. That's why it's called hunting, not killing. We've all heard those things, and so I experienced it in real life, right? We experience it all the time when you're going hunting. This was a bachelor group, I believe. This is a group of bucks that typically don't live in this area. They were just traveling through, maybe going back to their home turf since we're at the end of the year. And I did take out one of the bachelors in the group, but I did not get the monster buck. So I wanted to close out this video. Sorry I didn't get the kill shot for you guys. If you're interested in seeing kill shots, I have bow hunts, rifle hunts where I get the kill shot on camera. You guys can go back and watch some of those other videos, but for me, it's always about the adventure. I love the thrill of the hunt, and I love the adventure, and the venison meat for my family is always a blessing, but it's always about the story. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the story. I'll drop a couple photos here for you guys to look at this buck that I did shoot. And who knows, maybe that monster buck will be back next year and we'll get on him. We'll see you guys in the woods.